线，已经赶紧从山上下来了，哗啦哗啦的漏。油箱这儿、挂耳这儿已经裂了。某品牌的后板，哎呀，不知道，我们也和 KTM 车友也不是一个圈子的。这是春风的啊，春风800。这个春风800 MT 叉，这个某品牌的护板，刚才倒了2下，油箱直接。这个我们赶紧下山，得亏我们旁边有拖板。吊耳这儿漏了。
Let me talk about my speculation and the fuel tank rupture. Here are my speculations. For the conclusion, I think it's a combination of factors. Chunfeng KT, KTM, and the foundry of the fuel tank, a CBS, also takes some responsibility. And the guard plate. There may be some structural problems. Then we don't analyze blindly. We based on some known information to lay some prerequisites. First, the 790 after 2 or 3 800-mound techs of Chunfeng are different from the previous 790 tank supplier and processing technology. Well, according to the logo on the 800 MD fork, should be the Italian ADV. Second, the fuel tank rupture often happen in winter when the temperature is low, so maybe its material is resistant to low temperature, which becomes brittle at low temperatures. Third, the guard plate will generally be found deformed. We also removed it after the leak was found. We found that it was deformed when compared.
Then we can make the following assumptions. First, Chunfeng cut corners, used inferior fuel tanks to save money. From the current result, it's really inferior, but it doesn't necessarily save money. Mitsubishi is also a very famous off-road fuel tank manufacturer. Off-road, basically modified with the fuel tank of Exibus. And now this fuel tank are all imported at present, not made in China. However, ASICS has not made this kind of saddle tank experience in load-bearing and impact-resistant tanks. Chunfeng still has the problem I mentioned in my video. It's not always a cost issue, but the level of their team. They don't know off-road. Then both sides designed such a fuel tank. It has poor load bearing, which is fragile and easy to break. So it's possible that they used the previous material without sufficient testing. In winter, when the fuel tank is impacted, when it withstands the impact of the entire car's weight, it is prone to damage.
So, don't say that domestic fuel tanks are of poor quality, and then imported ones are good. Rational industrial design and reasonable material selection and good product designability is the key to ensure quality.
Are the above 2 inferences? Then the third inference is whether the guard plate is responsible. I think it is. After the guard plate was subjected to continuous impacts. Every impact is a plastic deformation, which means it doesn't rebound each time it accumulated closer to the fuel tank and made the fuel tank bear more force. And in the last time, the distance and force broke through the limit, which caused the fuel tank to leak. So I think it is the above 3 assumptions combined to cause the fuel tank to rupture. Everyone can discuss rationally if there's any information I missed or wrong, or I said something wrong. You can also add it.
After the last 800 mount techs leaked oil, I combined other CFMOTO KTM 790, the oil leakage of other owners, and analyzed that maybe because the 890 and 800 mount fork 3 years later use new fuel tanks, materials, and suppliers. Then I collected the fuel tanks of the 890 and the old 790 fuel tank, the old and the broken fuel tank of the 800 mount techs. Then I will conduct a complete comparative test. Now, I have made some simple observations and preliminary. Well, I will find a third-party organization to judge, to test it with scientific methods. If it is really replaced the new material, it will be lower than the original one, or according to the national standard for motorcycle fuel tanks. National standard and SAE standard. If the fuel tanks of CFMOTO and KTM are unqualified, then we will file a formal consumer complaint against them and ask them to recall the fuel tank or promise to repair for free repair and replacement.